Hey everybody, it's Ava and I'm at New Venture Christian Fellowship in Oceanside, California with...
Hi, I'm Phil Wickham and you're watching On the Spot Interviews.
Well, I'm so happy to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Ava. It's good to meet you. I'm doing amazing because this is kind of a local spot for both of us.
Yes.
We both live in North County, San Diego, and so it's good to be able to meet up and hang out.
For sure, and you grew up here. What church did you start out at, and how did you kind of be inspired to become the huge Christian singer that you are today?
Well, I was born in San Diego, California. My parents are both worship leaders, and when I was like 1 year old, we moved up to Orange County for my dad to be on staff at a church called Calvary Chapel there. So I grew up in that church community in Orange County till I was about 13, and at that point, a church called Maranatha Chapel here in San Diego County asked my parents to come down and be a part of that community and what they're doing there. And so I pretty much grew up in San Diego. I lived in Escondido for a while, and now I live here in North County, in Carlsbad, California, and it's the best place in the world, San Diego. So I think growing up in a family with music and Jesus being kind of like the prominent thing, and being able to see in my parents those two things working together just very cohesively, and my parents both on stage and off stage just following Jesus and being faithful and consistent in their walks with God was a great, I think, example and inspiration to me of what it means to put my faith in with my love for music and use it to hopefully point people to God. So that's kind of was the initial inspiration. And then I started playing guitar when we moved down to San Diego because I had nothing else to do because we moved away from all my friends and stuff. And later that year, my youth pastor found out I could play guitar and asked if I would start leading, and I was freaked out, did not want to do it, so shy. But he kind of just mentored me and led with me a little bit, and within a couple months I was leading worship for the junior high, writing songs for the church, and those songs little by little started to spread to churches around town. And man, just one opportunity after another, God continues to give me, and I'm more blessed, more humbled than ever at these awesome opportunities to be a part of God's kingdom, growing around the country and the world.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm a huge fan. Well, I'm a huge fan of all your songs, but one of my favorites is Cannons, and I know that there's actually, you just sang it, and it's kind of like a metaphorical meaning. Can you explain that?
That song was inspired. I remember I was just picking on my guitar one night, and looked up in the sky. It was a clear night, and there's these stars, and just thinking like, man, the stars are amazing. And my mind immediately went to that verse, the heavens declare the glory of God, and it's almost like the stars are, if you take a moment to realize like who put them there, who spoke them into existence, and the song that they are singing, metaphorical, like you said, song they are singing, like they're literally declaring just a bit of what God can do and His brightness and His glory and His power. Almost like, if we take time to listen, they're almost like worship leaders for humanity, is what I was kind of thinking. Like their song is almost leading. If we take a time to realize what their song is, it leads us into worship. I think things God has made speaks small bits of who He is, and when we see little bits of who He is, we respond to that. And so I was thinking, man, like, what would that sound be if you could like hear their song? And I just thought of the loudest thing I could think of, which was a cannon. And so the line came, it's ringing in the skies like cannons in the night, the music of the universe plays. And that whole idea is like, hey, if the universe is singing this song declaring the glory of God, let's join in with this thing that's already happening. And that's where that song came from.
Well, yeah, it's amazing. I listen to it all the time, so good job.
Thank you.
And I know you're a father now. You have a beautiful baby girl. How is she doing?
She's doing awesome. She's learning words. She knows what yellow and blue is now, and she can identify the letter A, which is awesome. She's 19 months old, and we've actually got another little girl on the way in July, which is, thank you. So we're just filling our arrow quiver with little children.
And I know that you've met a lot of other Christian artists being, on tour, just listening to them. Are there any that you've really connected with?
Yeah, I've connected with quite a few. I think when you get on tour, you go out on these buses and you're kind of living in a super tiny dorm for like 2 weeks to 2 months, depending on how long the tour is. And so so you kind of hope before you meet. Sometimes I haven't met the bands that I'm going to tour with, so you're like, man, I hope they're cool, and they always are. Like everybody's got their own quirks and different personalities mesh and others don't, but ultimately everybody's chosen this life to like sing to the Lord and about the Lord, and there's like this cool heart behind so many guys, and some guys that I've really connected with are guys from Texas. We do a Christmas tour every year. They're Shane and Shane. They're an awesome band. Leland, we love. Mercy Me has kind of ever since I first started out, they kind of had taken me under their wing and gave me my first tour opportunity. And we still are part of each other's lives today. I mean, I think every band I've gone out with, I've connected in some way, and it's really cool to kind of, I grew up as a Christian music listener, especially like the worship side of things, because I grew up leading worship, and so to meet these guys, like one of my favorite bands growing up and most inspirational to what I do today is Delirious. I don't know if you remember that band, but they're from the UK.
I know, I've heard of them.
Yeah, well, they're not a band anymore, but the lead singer, his name's Martin Smith, and being able to meet him going over to the UK was just awesome. And Matt Redman and Tim Hughes and Chris Tomlin, all these guys, and Paul Balash, all these guys that are like so faithful to the calling of writing songs for the church to sing. At the core of what I do, that's my heart. And so to see guys just do it so well and faithfully over the years is awesome, inspiring, and always a pleasure to meet them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love all those people you mentioned. Chris Tomlin, his song "I Will Follow" is just amazing. Do you yourself have a favorite worship song?
I don't think I have a favorite worship song. I think there's different songs that really connect with me in different moments of life. Sometimes it's joy, and I just want to thank God. And other times I need help, and so I go to those songs that ask for God's help. And so I don't know if I have a favorite, but I love that there's so many songwriters out there writing so many awesome songs for the church to sing, because it gives guys like me and girls like you a voice in those moments of joy and desperation and hope and all. It's just a great calling to play a very, very small part in that world is a blessing to me.
Well, being a part of the whole Christian world, so it's a huge Christian fan base. How humbling is that for you?
Everything I've done and the songs I've written and the songs that seem to connect are just songs. They're songs about how great God is. You know what I mean? And not that I never have an ego or never have pride, because I think every person can deal with that at some point. But it is when I kind of sit back, and the more God seems to expand and what I do and get to go to new places and sing these songs and realize, wow, like this church I'm in a whole another country and this church knows my song. This is crazy, and it's just a humbling thing, because it has nothing to do with me. Probably 95% of those people didn't even know I wrote that song. It was just a part of their church community, and so you just kind of realize, man, this is bigger than me, and so much bigger, and I'm happy to be a part of it, and honored that God would let me be a part of the kingdom of God and in the way He lets me, and in a way I love to be. I love music, and so very blessed.
Well, I can't wait to hear your new song, The Ascension. Can you give us any details on that?
I have a new song called The Ascension. And I've got a new record titled the same thing. It's called The Ascension. And right now it's scheduled to release September 24th. But that is to be determined. But it'll probably be September 24th. And man, we are so pumped. Just the whole team. I'm trying to think if I've ever felt this excited and satisfied with a group of 11. It's 11 or 12 songs, not sure exactly, but with a group of songs just from beginning to end. I feel like I've said everything that was on my heart, and I'm just so excited to share these songs and be able to have all these songs to play live. And man, I can't wait till music starts coming out and kind of hearing what people think about it, because I am very close to it, and we've worked really hard on it for months, and just so happy with the outcome.
Yeah, well, I'll count down the days for September 24th. If only there was an advent calendar till then. Because the Christmas ones, it has like 25 days. But
man, that's a good idea. I'll make a little online advent.
That would be amazing. I don't know how I thought of that. I love chocolate, so yeah.
Chocolate's good. Chocolate's good.
And also you had your, I know you already finished the kind of contest for the CD cover, but you also talked about the meaning of Ascension in that. Yeah. Can you tell us what it means to you?
Yeah, the idea of the Ascension, and I still have yet to really get into this and study it, which I'm really excited about. I went to Israel once. A church asked me to go along back. I think I was like 19, or so. It was it was like 10 years ago, but it was an awesome experience. And there's these psalms in the Bible called the Songs of Ascent. And every time you go to the temple in Jerusalem, like when the Israelites would walk up to the temple and like celebrate feasts, anywhere you come from, you're going up, you're ascending, because Jerusalem's on this hill. And so we were in the car in the van ascending, and the pastor we were with said, "Hey, let's read some of these songs of ascent." And this memory still sticks with me, is that as we were going through these songs that back thousands of years ago, these Israelites would sing as they ascend and kind of prepare their hearts for this feast and prepare their hearts to enter into the presence of God and to be in the city of Jerusalem, the city of God. They would sing these songs, and so. It's cool that now there's not just one temple where the presence of God is at, but we are God's temple, and God, as that this church gathers this Sunday morning here, like it's just a bunch of temples of God, just a bunch of dwelling places of God coming together, and so I kind of wanted to write a modern day song of ascension. As we come together, the idea is in the chorus. It says, "Let us start the ascension. Let's begin the climb up this holy mountain where your glory shines. Further up, further in, just to be with you again. Let us start the ascension." It's kind of more of a metaphoric meeting than a literal meeting as it was back then. Just to kind of run into the presence of God and prepare our hearts for what God might do in a moment. And so it's most likely going to be the first song on the record, ascending into God's presence. I think is lyrically kind of makes sense as the first song of a worship record. And so yeah, I'm pumped about it.
I am too. And you must have been really good in English, because I still have trouble with metaphors in poetry mostly.
I don't know if I'm actually singing metaphors or analogies or what. I'm not that great at English.
Oh, well, I think it's metaphors, because if it was well, when you say it's raining in the skies like cannons in the night, it's a simile, because like,
right.
But, yeah.
Right. Metaphors have no like.
Yes. Yeah. It compares it directly. So, yeah. And analogies, like, it's like, I don't know how to explain those.
Analogies are stories that speak to a higher meaning. Yes. I don't know. Anyways.
And I know you're all over social media. Can we have those links, such as Facebook, Twitter?
I think if you just Google Phil Wickham, it's PhilWickham. I think it all probably pops up. I'm pretty active on Twitter, and I have a YouTube channel, and I have Facebook, and I think there might be a MySpace in existence that I haven't looked at in about 5 years.
I think I saw a link on your Facebook page.
But I don't think does anybody use MySpace anymore?
No, I think it's all Facebook.
Yeah. So I think if you just Google my name, you just kind of find the ways to stay connected. And for those of you out there, whoever's watching, love to stay connected with you via Twitter or whatever. And thanks so much for having me be a part of this. What was it called? On the spot. Yes, on the spot interview.
Well, thank you so much, and it was really an honor to meet you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.